If you're looking for a budget field monitor for run and gun shooting, I think I have the right gear that you're looking for. Because I have here the new Desview P5II. And if you want to learn more about this monitor, stay tuned and watch this video.
Okay, alright.
Hey guys, Joe here, back at it again with another tech review video. So let's just start that this video will be jam-packed. When I started reviewing this monitor, I didn't realize it has a lot of features that surprised me. And it will help any run and gun shooter who is looking for a budget, lightweight field monitor. So in this video, I will tell you what's in the box, its full specs, and show you the user interface so it will be easier for you to use in your shoots. So let's not waste any more time. Let's do this. Inside the box, you have the user manual, the field monitor, a certificate of quality check, a packing list, a sun hood, microfiber cloth, HDMI to mini HDMI, HDMI to micro HDMI, a USB stick, and lastly, an L holder. This is what you will get in the box. Looking closely at the Desview P5II, it is a 5.5-inch field monitor. It has 800 nits of brightness and a wide viewing angle of 160 degrees. One of the selling features of this monitor, its build is plastic material, but it's very lightweight. It only weighs 170 grams. Honestly, I felt like I was barely holding anything with this monitor. Now, right at the bottom of this monitor, there's a DC out input, 3.5mm headphone jack to listen to the audio, 1/4-inch screw if you want to mount it to a tripod, a USB input to insert a USB stick full of LUT files or firmware updates. On the right side is another 1/4-inch screw that allows you to mount to the L holder. On the left side is an HDMI out, DC in, and HDMI in. While on top you have the power button and 4 buttons that are labeled as exit, left, right, and menu. I will talk more about these 4 buttons later on in the user interface. At the back is where you can add an NPF battery so you can power the monitor wirelessly. It supports most NPF batteries such as NPF 550, NPF 750, and NPF 970. Let me show you the user interface. This P5II monitor is the touch version. They also have a button version which is a little cheaper than the touch version. The only difference is you can use the buttons and full touchscreen on the touch version, while the button version can only navigate using the buttons. With the touch version, you can pinch to zoom in, drag the screen after it has zoomed in, adjust the volume like this, and adjust the backlight brightness. One tap will bring out the different menu settings for you to navigate. The first setting is false colors. This is basically a setting where it creates a fake color to allow you to see if the scene is exposed correctly. Because seeing in true colors or the right colors, we tend to not see it in the naked eye. So with these settings, here you get to choose either spectrum or ARRI. Next is the zebra line. This setting is useful in scenarios where you don't want to blow out the highlights or the whiter parts in the scene. Next is the histogram. It's another setting where you can check your exposure. You can either choose to prioritize the scene's brightness or show the RGB mix with the brightness. You can place the histogram in any parts of the scene just by clicking these options. Next is the waveform, which is kind of the same as the histogram in terms of the settings. Here you get to choose either luminance or RGB. You can also place it in different areas depending on your liking. This setting allows you to analyze if you have too much brightness or darkness, or see if your contrast is in check. Next is peaking. This allows you to check the focus on your scene. It's your focus peaking in this external monitor, so you get to choose 4 false colors: red, green, blue, and gray. I prefer choosing red because it's much more visible compared to the other colors. You can also get to choose the peaking strengths such as weak, average, and strong. Next is the single color. This will isolate the scene with one specific color, so you have the option to choose red, green, blue, or gray. Next is the high dynamic range setting. This allows you to choose an HDR profile to your liking, such as BT 2020, Rec 709, DCI P3, and PQ profile. This next one is the hotkey define feature. So this one lets you set a hotkey or shortcut key to any of the 4 buttons that I mentioned on top of the screen. As you can see, it's already set for you, but you can customize it later on. The next setting is the zoom setting. This allows you to zoom the scene to ×2 or ×4, and you can set its horizontal or vertical position as well. This next one is the LUT setting. So this is where you preview the lookup table. So you can choose to use a USB where you have a LUT save in the disk. Choose the user setting, which have built-in LUTs, and the camera LUTs as well. The next one is anamorphic. If you have an anamorphic lens on the camera, you can set the distortion level to match the anamorphic lens. It can stretch the scene to 1.33 times, 1.5, 1.66, 1.79, and 2 times. The next one is the aspect ratio. So this one allows you to set a certain aspect ratio on the monitor from 4:3, 16:10, 16:9, 1.85:1, and 2.35:1. This next one is the grid setting. This lets you set a grid on the monitor. It can set a 2x2 grid to an 8x8 grid. You can even change the grid color to red, green, blue, or gray. Next is the center mark, which just places a cross or a center mark on the scene. And you guessed it, you can change the color to red, green, blue, or gray. This next one is the safe area. So this is useful if you're working on different kinds of video formats that need to crop the scene. So it will show a rectangular box. You can set it at 80% to 95%. This next one is mark ratio. So this is useful if you're using a wide aspect ratio in your camera setting, but you want to check how much of the scene will be cropped if you decide to use a different aspect ratio in post-production. This next one is rotate. This allows you to flip the preview either horizontal, vertical, or display. And lastly, this setting is the audio meters, which allows you to check the audio levels of the camera. You can even switch the position of the audio levels either left, right, or you can just turn it off. Now let me show you the menu setting. So all the settings that I've mentioned previously, they are all organized by specific usage in this drop-down menu. So all the exposure assistance is here, focus and composition are also categorized, LUT configuration, and display setting. What I noticed though, there are 3 settings like pixel to pixel, HV delay, and freeze are only found in this drop-down menu. So you have to go here if ever you need to use this type of setting. Lastly, in the menu is the system configuration, where you can set or check the user settings such as menu configuration, color, its temperature, the volume of the sound, the battery info, when was the last time the monitor has been updated, and its current status. Overall, I'm really happy with the capabilities of what this field monitor can provide, especially when I do sit-down vlogs just like this. Having a bigger monitor as my visual just makes my workflow better than checking the camera's built-in screen, because sometimes there is a limitation to using it. And with the Desview P5II, it just makes it a better view. Wow, that rhymes. Yeah, awesome. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful for all you guys. If you want to get your hands on the Desview P5II, I'll leave the links down in the description. To be updated in my next videos, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to be notified of new tech reviews like this. This is Joe Serrano, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.